Right, here's how we convert from polar to rectangular and the other direction. Okay, we know this is polar because that's an angle, 2 pi over 3. And that's how far from the center we're going to go. And here's the real simple way to do it. To find the x-coordinate, it's the distance times the cosine of this angle. To find how far up and down we go, it's the distance times the sine of the angle. So for this one, x would be 4 times cosine 2 pi over 3. And you can calculate that. 4 times cosine 2 pi over 3, that'd be 4 times negative 1/2 would be negative 2. All right, to get the y answer, it's just same thing, except instead of cosine, it's sine of 2 pi over 3. Put that in your calculator, and you get 2 root 3. So those would be your polar coordinates. I'm sorry, this is your polar coordinates. This would be your rectangular. X is negative 2, and y is 2 root 3. You could turn that into a decimal if you wanted to. All right. Now, when I taught physics, we used vectors a lot. And this is how you would take a vector like this and break it into an up and down vector and a left and right vector. And my students sometimes would get the sine and cosine backwards. It's always cosine for x, sine for y. All right, now let's say we have a rectangular point. We're going to go over 2 and down 2. We got to find the angle and the distance. Here's how you find the distance. It's just a Pythagorean theorem. So for this one, for this one, here's x, here's y, so it's 2 squared plus negative 2 squared, and square root the whole thing. That's 4 plus 4 is the square root of 8, which is 2 root 2. All right. That's the distance we go. Now let's find the angle. To find the angle, it's the tangent of the angle is y over x. Gotta remember, y goes on top. So to find the angle, it's the arctangent. Just hit shift tangent and put y over x, which is negative 2 over 2. And for theta, what do you get? 3 pi over 2. So what are our coordinates in polar? You always get the distance first. So the distance is 2 root 2, and the angle is 3 pi over 2. That's how you go from rectangular to polar, and up here's how you go from polar to rectangular. So you may want to write those formulas down so you remember them, and you need to practice. You can't just see this and then think you're going to get right on the test.